Assalamu alaikum. This is your brother, Malcolm Flex. I'm here with a West Coast legend, brother Westcoast Kam. Brother Kam, can you introduce yourself to the people?
Yeah, man, this is just your brother, Kam. Brother Kam, West Coast, I guess pioneer, veteran, NOI, FOI, LA native, representative of this West Coast hip hop. This hip hop in general, and this black man representation of Islam in the wilderness of North America. I'm a t-shirt Muslim today, so in any rough language or cuss words that you might hear me say is no reflection on the Nation of Islam or Minister Farrakhan whatsoever. I'm trying to keep that control tonight, but something might fly on my mind.
Right, yes, sir. All praises due to Allah, family. And just for the viewers, the brother made a sacrifice. He had a very important place to be today, man. And the brother, you know what I'm saying, he sacrificed for the viewers, man. And so we want to respect the brother's time. We appreciate the brother for joining on to our show. And therefore, we're going to get straight into it because time is of essence. So my first question, dear brother, before it gets spicy up in here, before I put you in the hot seat, dear beloved, you've been around a long time, my brother, so we would like to know what inspired you to start rapping.
What inspired me to start rapping? Probably everything. The same thing inspired anybody else, just money, girls, fame. That's what inspired me to start. But I started before I got conscious. So I was rapping probably a little like in 11th grade, 12th grade, and I really got on by doing the St. Ives contest. Me and my homeboy, my two homies, Wood from Street Products, my homie Wood, and my homie Lauren Seagrave.
Right.
We did a St. Ives contest. We won a St. Ives contest, a beer commercial contest.
Wow,
Yes, that lets you know, I was on something else. I was on another page.
Right.
Yeah, that's really where my so-called first look came from, and through that I met DJ Cool. He was a judge. He was a judge at the St. Ives contest. So, he had just started working with them, and I think King T and somebody had done the first St. Ives contest. That's before Cube and all of that. Before everybody was doing.
That's back in the day.
Yeah, that's way back in the day.
Back in the day.
89, 88, 89.
Damn, like I was born in 87.
Yeah, so you was fresh out the box.
Yes, sir. So another question, my brother. How far have we come along in hip hop since the late 80s and the 90s all the way to now?
How far? We came far in hip hop, but not commercially, not on commercial.
Right.
Now, when it comes to commercial hip hop, that's 300 years backwards. You know what I'm saying? Because the mainstream, the corporations that own hip hop, that own these radio stations, the TV stations, and record labels and all of that, their whole goal, their whole agenda for even promoting us is to degrade us, is to spread negative, effeminate, self-destructive images of black people, especially the black male, all across the world.
Right.
So once they got, they the ones that sign the check, they the ones that give us the $1 million deals. So once they got their claws in hip hop, it's a wrap for commercial hip hop. Anything mainstream or commercial regarding hip hop or black men, the images of black males, black men in general, is going to be all the way corrupted, all the way watered down. So you won't find no real hip hop on the mainstream media at all.
Great point. Great point. Yes, sir, dear brother. Thank you. What do you think about this generation of hip hop, and what are the pros and cons of hip hop now and then?
This generation, like I said, unfortunately, they being Pied Pipered by the bag. You gotta have a bag, and the people that have the bag is the so-called Jews, the Zionists of the Talmudic Jews that own all the radio stations, just about, that own all the TV stations, all of the record labels. They also the ones that's behind finance and politics. They're the ones that own the central banks and Federal Reserves and all that. So it's going to come down to them controlling the money, and they manipulate culture, they manipulate people, they manipulate trends and all of that because of the money that they wield, the money that they got.
Right.
So this generation is just following the bag, and they think that it's legal because it's not like it's selling dope. They feel like this is legal because these white policymakers or whatever say it's okay, we're not getting arrested for it, but it's actually more poison than selling physical drugs and physical dope, because physical dope does something to you physically, physical poison, but this type of poison, mental poison, that cut way deeper, and especially when you're making it seem like it's okay, like there's nothing wrong with it, there's nothing wrong with your daughter's dancing to somebody named Nicki Minaj.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just that name alone, like, we don't even know what Minaj is, but it's already subliminally casting a spell on the psyche of our children and our girls. So now it's cool to be a swinger or a whore or a prostitute or a slut. It's looking legal, and you winning all kind of awards. You got the best furs and diamonds, and you got dudes lusting after you. So that's what's happening to this generation of hip hop. It's been totally hijacked and corrupted by the people that own these corporations. That was their goal in the beginning.
Right.
As opposed to how hip hop started. Hip hop started was just a good time party expression. People, MCs was battling each other like, I'm the flyest on this or I'm the that. But then it was also a platform for social commentary, or a voice of the dissatisfied youth of Black America. So you had stuff like Melly Mel and Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, The Message, and Public Enemy. Like it became social, and when it got to the West Coast, even with NWA and Cube, and with F the Police.
Right.
So that they seen that they can make money off of it, and they seen the trend was catching fire. It was becoming a forest fire of Black male conscious expression. So they had to hurry up and get their claws in it and throw money at the problem and send it in a direction that they wanted to go.
Right. So quick question. So like, as far as hip hop artists, who inspired you when you was coming up?
As far as lyrically, because everybody inspired, all of the first rappers inspired me. Of course, like the Run DMCs and the LL Cool J's and like I said, Grandmaster Flash, the Furious Five, Melly Mel. but they are in Biz Markie and the Juice Crew and Big Daddy Kane and Rakim and like, but they all inspire me for different reasons.
Right.
So lyrically, probably Melly Mel. Probably Melly Mel probably had the greatest impact on me with the message.
Right.
And then Rakim, because you know he was talking knowledge itself.
Right.
And it sounded exotic. It sounded like it was some foreign, exotic G stuff. Because I didn't know nothing about no Allah. I thought that was, you know, abracadabra, you know. But it was still, I liked his flow. I like what he was saying, and he was talking black. So then I heard, you know, I've been heard, but you know, Public Enemy, and just the strong black male image. I thought them dudes was like way older than me.
Right.
You know, but they was my same age. But you know, just seeing a black male on TV, you know, to me, anybody that's on TV seemed like they old, like they mature, old grown men that know something. That's what TV meant to me at that time. Like, damn, he on TV, so he must be a professional. He must be a professor of sciences or something. I didn't know he do just a hood dude.
Do you think hip hop nowadays is missing that strong black male image?
It's not hip hop. You mean commercial, mainstream?
Right.
Like hip hop ain't got no shortage. It's more strong black male hip hop MCs and whatnot than it ever was, but it's even less than you ever. I mean, the mainstream media is gonna show you less. The mainstream media is gonna make it seem like it's a drop, like it don't exist.
Right.
Because that's the goal. That's the agenda. The agenda of mainstream media, which is that instant, huge global fame, that global platform. They only promoting gay, you know, watered down, interracial. They're not promoting no strong, independent black male image whatsoever. It have to be watered down. It have to be gay. It have to be interracial with a white girl. It have to be subordinate or submissive to a white male. Or you'll see that nowhere. You won't see that nowhere on mainstream media, whether it's TV, whether it's radio, movies.
That's a good point.
Yeah, so it's not no shortage. That's why, you know, we doing this right now, because this only place on the media you're gonna find it is social media.
Right. Yes, sir. So another question there, brother. Thank you. What do you think about Lyor Cohen, and how is he contributing to the degradation of our culture?
I don't know Lyor Cohen. I just know a little bit about him over the years, and he's just one of those, like they say, culture vultures. He's just one of those so-called Jews, Talmudic so-called Jews, Zionists, that control the images of black people.
Right.
You know, if your big brother or your cousin or whatever owns this record label, or he owns this bank over here, or he, you know, and they keep their thing well networked within the family. I'm talking about Jews and their money,
right,
and their businesses and their control. So they gonna automatically give him a job. Like they gonna automatically put him in a position of, you know, influence or power, and give him a pen and a checkbook, and you can sign this. You know what our agenda is, Lyor. You know, you know these little black children, what we trying to make them look like. You only sign this type of act. You only push this type of song. You only push. So they know, like, you know, I seen him lying on one of them little interviews. I don't know if it's the Breakfast Club or something, talking about him and Dame Dash, talking about, you know, these black little children are drug addicts, or they doing drugs, and you talking about they losers, but you still got to feed your family. So if you really that moral, you wouldn't sign them in the first place. You say, man, you got to go to rehab. I'm not messing with you. I'm not signing you. I don't care how hot you're supposed to be. I'm not messing with you because I'm Jewish. I'm supposed to be Jewish, and I'm supposed to be pushing righteousness and the laws of God and the Torah or whatever. So I can't even sign you because I know you're a drug addict. I can't even sign you because I know you're talking about pushing drugs and killing people and raping and misogynistic lyrics. But it's just the opposite. That's the only thing we are. I can't sign you if you're trying to be too Chuck D-ish and Fight the Power is too black conscious. I can't sign. You know, I'm gonna tell you, nobody ain't trying to hear that.
Right.
And it don't have to do with nobody trying to hear that. The people is gonna hear what they gonna eat whatever you put on that program. Right, I used to grow up, you know, watching before it was cable, watching Friday night videos on channel like MTV before they went cable. Friday night videos on channel 4 at night, and all I watched was rock and roll, like U2 or UB40 and all these rock and roll, because there wasn't no choice.
Right.
It wasn't like, no, I ain't gonna watch that because people ain't trying to hear that. No, I learned all of them white rock and roll groups and them songs because that's all they was playing on the radio. So I just made myself appreciate it. Okay, right. That's how you program. It ain't got nothing to do with people don't want to hear that. No, you don't want people to hear
right.
that. Y'all say don't want people to hear that.
Oh, that's a good point. And I remember in the interview, Professor Griff was saying how he was putting pressure on Lyor Cohen. You know what I mean? And they even got into a debate, and Professor Griff was basically hitting him across the head with the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, exposing, you know what I'm saying, his hand. And somehow Professor Griff said that he got Public Enemy to part ways behind that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I ain't heard nothing from Griff after that.
Right.
Because Griff, he was always pushing the envelope. He was pushing the line in that whole group, you know. So, and that's scary. That's too threatening to their agenda, to white supremacy, white male supremacy. That's too threatening.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. On to my next question. What do you think of, excuse me, I did that one. How do these culture vultures assist in these new young rappers like 6ix9ine in pushing the negativity? You know, and what are the pros and cons of social media as far as, you know, to my question that I asked you? You know, how does, you know, the culture vultures and social media, you know what I'm saying, assist the youth in pushing a negative image in our in the culture?
Yeah, I just, you know, what we talked about earlier, just by the bag,
right,
by the check. You know, I never, you know, I got my ears to the street. My sons and them, my daughters and sons, they 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, like, so they in that age group, and they tell me, yeah, like, you know, we heard a dude, but dude, you know, he ain't really fly. Like, it be the beats. It be the beats. But all of this music is like sandbox, nursery rhyme, you know, child, 3-year-old hooks that you just chant, you just saying over and over. It don't have nothing to do with lyrics no more. In my generation, hip hop and rap had to do with lyrics. This generation, it just got to do with beats and chants. Right. Beats and chants, just saying a little nursery rhyme chant over and over and over again, because it's drug music.
Right.
It's pill music.
Right.
It's just pill music. Like, you know, you got to bond. The beat got to be fire. So the beats be fire. I ain't knocking the beats.
Right.
But the lyrics and the words and the energies and, you know, it's just drug music. It's just something that had you tripping when you on them pills, or you high, or you on the lean, or you drunk. You got the Hennessy and all these little real drugs that they doing. It just sound fly with that beat, and just it don't make you have to think. It's just drilling the same little hook over and over while you high, over. So that's the thing they on. It's just some party, sex, drugs, madness. It's just programming. It's just hypnotic programming at the most primitive level.
And it's funny that you say that, because I remember growing up, the artists were talking about, you know what I'm saying, that they were the drug dealers, but now the artists are the drug users. You know what I'm saying? It's funny how the dynamic flip.
But that's only because it's money. It's money backing it up.
Right.
It's because these false Jews that own these labels, they're throwing money at the drug use. Now we'll make you rich to be a drug user. We'll make you rich to be a prostitute. You know, before, when it was us, we was shooting it down like, hey, you a crackhead, like, you know what I'm saying, like, hey, you a hoe. But we didn't have no money. If at that time they was throwing money at the whole image or the drug image, it would have, you know, they would have been doing this a long time ago. But now they finally like, okay, the blacks is getting too conscious, and they putting conscious pressure on each other, and they raising the standards of morality and all of that. Only thing that supersedes that with hungry Negroes is if you get money. Money will break all of that up.
Right.
Money will break up the struggle. Everybody was, you know, black power until white people came in there and offered them some jobs. Yeah, offer you some money. Okay, well, I ain't really pushing the black power thing. I'm not really mad no more. Right. You know, we equal. Barack Obama is the president. You know, we reached the promised land. It's not racism no more because they throwing money at the, you know, they throwing a bag at me now. So that's how they do it. That's how they do it. They make it legal. They make it seem like it's okay and legal. Just like weed now. They was locking us up for the last 50 years or however many years. Now weed is legal. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's about whatever they want to say is legal and whatever they want to put money behind.
Right.
Then we're gonna do it like it's okay. And yesterday it was a shame. Today it's the wave. It's the thing to do.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, because hardly you hear people overdosing and dying and stuff like that growing up when I was young. But I do say that there are pros as far as, you know, this generation of music, because a lot of youth, it seems like a lot of youth in this generation are not signing these deals anymore. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are going indie. They're using social media to push their brands. And then, you know, they got the 360 deals and stuff like that. So can you give us some insight on the 360 and going indie and what's the difference?
360 is slavery. See, 360 is worse than the deals that we had. So that's 360 is what you don't want.
It's worse than the deal than y'all had?
Oh, yeah. 360 means that they you know, the labels or whoever owns any, you know, 360 means a circle in any sphere of money that you're making because they help push you and make you famous. You owe them. You got to pay them. If you're making movies, you got to pay them. If you're doing club appearances, you got to pay them. You're doing concerts, you got to pay them. You got to pay that label that you signed to.
Right.
You can't do your own thing. That's the opposite of independent.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So and an independent artist, you will be able to buzz and bubble off of social media until you get on their radar. Then they go, oh, he bubbling. Then they gonna offer you a way bigger bag than you was already getting, and with that bag comes a redirecting of your content. Now they gonna control your content, and you're gonna be over there future popping, pill popping, and Nicki Minaj.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
So I don't know nobody like that. I don't know, like, everybody is independent because they not getting signed. But once they buzz and get to the point where they on the radar and they got a big buzz and the labels is checking for them, they sign into labels. They sign into labels. Label ain't gonna sign you unless you on their agenda anyway. So you must already be doing some self-destructive lyrics or an image that's effeminate, or you wearing a dress, or you doing so you already dissing your sisters or something. They're not offering you no deal if you're not doing that. Yes,
sir. Great point. And also, you know, to touch on like youngsters who has really taken off with the social media, and you know what I'm saying, and social media taking their career to the next level, like Tekashi 6ix9ine. You know, the brother, he started off, you know, trolling people. You know what I mean? So my question is, you know, what do you think of Tekashi 6ix9ine whole situation? You know, like him firing his whole his team, and how they were stealing money from him, and how he's kind of facing the RICO Act, and you know, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, he started off on the negative. He started off trolling. You know what I'm saying? Which is already negative because our people is like swine. We just like mess and filth and smoke and drama and beef. So the same with how 50 Cent started, like how to rob an R&B singer. Like he followed that same program. That's already a a doomed foundation. If your foundation is on that, is on trolling and beefing, then you try to mix that with gang banging, and you're not even really from no gang place. That's what I call Fed bait. That's federal bait. That's FBI bait. You know what I'm saying? Because all you doing is it's like the same formula of Tupac and Biggie and that whole West Coast thing, but it's more ingredients involved. It's his rainbow hair, which is bringing the homosexuals into it. He's Mexican, which is bringing the black and brown beef into it. He claiming blood, which is bringing the blood and Crip thing into it. He's from the East Coast, which is bringing the East Coast and West Coast thing into it. That's so much different ingredients of Fed bait wrapped up in one. And then he's backed up by dude, is supposed to be big homie that's locked up with him, Shoddy.
Right.
I got him on my, I pulled it down. He slipped up and said something he shouldn't have said, and probably why they clamped on him right now, because he let it fly out of his mouth that him and his crew, the Treyway is backed up by the Israeli Mossad.
Wait. What? Run that back?
Yeah, Academics. He was doing a little live with Academics probably last year, and Academic was like, man, all this shit that Tekashi is saying, talking real bad about real gang members, and y'all going, I hope y'all moving like a military. I hope y'all moving 50 deep and got 50 niggas with y'all. And then Shadi was like, I'm just gonna tell you like this, Zach. We got the Israeli Israeli Mossad on our side, fully loaded. We fully loaded. We ain't worried about that.
Oh, that's crazy.
Treyway is Israeli Mossad. So he said that. That's why they clamped him because I'm sure he might not even live to see trial, because that's gonna have to come to trial. Like, why did you say you got who is the Israeli Mossad that you got on your side that you say is backing y'all up with weapons?
Right.
This New York blood gang called Treyway. All of a sudden, you saying that the Israeli Mossad is backing y'all up with weapons and y'all fully loaded, but the so-called one of the Israeli Mossad is the owner of that label. The owner of their label is Granger or something like that. I forgot the name, but he's
Elliot Granger.
Yeah, Elliot Granger. His father, supposedly, from what I heard or read, is the owner of Universal Music Group.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? The label Universal Records.
Right.
So those is the Israelis that's backing him up. So why would he just say, I got Universal Records backing me up? He specifically said we got, and it was regarding weapons and beef and violence and protection. Like, he was like, no, I'm not worried about it. We got an army. We got the Israeli Mossad on our side. We fully loaded.
And I was just listening to Brother's Breakfast Club interview, and he was saying to the Breakfast Club crew that he was like, can't nobody touch me. You know what I'm saying? I'm invincible. Because I know how strong my team is. And he was like, the only way that you'll be able to touch me is if you are already next to me. So that kind of explains why he would make a statement that way.
He still was on a dumb little dude level, because he don't realize one of the main reasons that his camp thing got shut down was the Shoddy dude. And it wasn't because that Shoddy was just trying to supposedly beat him for $2 million or take, skimming money off the top.
Right.
It was that shit that he said about the Israeli side. Watch what I say, man.
That's
because
crazy.
That's the Feds.
Right.
The Feds are controlled by Israel. They control. Israeli Mossad is the CIA of Israel. It's not the JDL, some little shit. It's the actual intelligence agency. The Mossad, Israeli Mossad, is the CIA of Israel.
That's crazy.
So they control the FBI. They control the politicians in America. So they had to shut that down because that nigga said that. So he might not live to ever make no federal witness stand. He might not even live. You're going to hear about something because they're going to have to ask him that question. What do you mean? What did you mean by, bringing the Israeli Mossad? Why would you say that? That's not something you just freestyle and say. You meant that. You knew who you was talking about.
Right.
And it was strictly talking about weapons.
Right.
And one of their cases is weapons charges or whatever, AR-15s or something like that. So you got Israeli Mossad backing you up with illegal firearms and weapons or what?
And that's crazy because when Tekashi 6ix9ine said it when he was kidnapped, he said that when he looked outside his window, he saw 6 federal FBI cars outside of his house, and he said, "Now this stuff is beyond us now." You know what I'm saying? And he said it's only 2 people that he's afraid of is God and the feds.
Yeah, he been bait though. He knew he was bait. Like he just thought, he was special. He just thought he was special. A lot of niggas just think they special because they was chosen and handpicked by Satan, and Satan throw that bag at you and all of that. You bait. They just building you up to try to. It's like flies to shit. You like you just like fresh shit. You the shit, and they trying to use you to draw the flies and draw as many, dumb niggas out. He on TMZ. That's another thing. Academic got him on TMZ, asking Sosa little cousin, Chief Keef cousin, talking about when the last time you shot somebody? Blood. Who the last time? What kind of gang nigga? What kind of any dude is gonna be on a social media live talking about who you shot? When the last time you shot somebody? You testing his gangster. That's all Fed bait. That's all FBI bait. Dude knew he was FBI bait. That's why he felt like he couldn't be touched, because he knew the FBI and the Israeli Mossad and all of that was protecting him from just dumb little niggas, But they make you, they can break you, and it wasn't his fault. It was unfortunately Shotty's fault for letting that come out of his mouth. He snitched on his piece, not trying to snitch, but he thought he was saying some tough shit.
It's called dry snitching.
But he wasn't trying to stitch. He thought he was saying some gangster shit, some mafia shit. And he really just implicated the Israelis. You know what I'm saying? What are Israelis?
Wow.
Back anybody, any blood gang with weapons and money for? You know what I'm saying?
Just like the
what does the
minister
Messiah
teaches.
got to do with?
Just like the minister teaches, you can't fathom the depths of Satan. You know what I mean?
I know why they do it. I know that's a rhetorical question. I know why they would do it. He didn't know why they would do it. He thought he was special. He thought he was the shit. He didn't know that he was a disposable diaper just like everybody else. And now he know.
So what?
He just thought he was the shit part of the. No, you're shit in a disposable diaper. You're in the trash. Like you'll never,
Now give us the G code, man, because I want to know what do you think about this generation of youth who they have this concept called trolling, and they're like you said, they're on IG Live, you know what I'm saying, they're on Facebook Live, and they showing weapons and they talking about murders that they did. What do you think about that? You know what I mean? Because me, that's like against the G code growing up.
Yeah, there ain't no G code now. It's a D code. It's a drug addict drugs code. Because you're not gonna do that unless you're on drugs. You're on lean and you think that it's cool, or you don't even know your history about COINTELPRO or the feds, or you young, so obviously you never did no penitentiary time.
Right.
You never did no Fed time. You don't know how feds operate. So you saying all of that like it's all good. I'm getting females, I'm getting money, I got my drugs, I got my fame, so I'm gonna say anything reckless, because the feds ain't like some police. They ain't gonna strike right away. They gonna sit back for years, just let you build, let you dig your own grave. You know what I'm saying? And once they feel like moving on you, or they got something on you, or they want to just use you and scare you and use you as a pawn to go be bait for somebody else, then they gonna activate you. Like they won't even necessarily lock you up. They're gonna show you all. We got you on tape. We got your wiretaps. We got this. You done said this. This is life, right? True. You know this 35 years, right?
Right.
So we ain't gonna air you out, but I'm just letting you know we got you. So this is what we want you to do. You go over here and you start talking reckless against the Bloods in LA, and you start reckless against the people in Chicago. You start talking reckless. That's how that works. So if it wasn't Tekashi, it was somebody in his camp. It might have been the Shotty dude. It might have been somebody else. But that's how the feds operate.
I think they were saying that they had like a secret recording of a conversation to where that they was after Tekashi ended up firing his whole team, that they was planning to do something to him.
Yeah, it wasn't secret. It was a wiretap. It was a federal wiretap. They already got the green light to wiretap him for, I think, 3 years ago. They was already under federal investigation. But it wasn't until Tekashi got on and they started making money and making certain kind of noise. But that's all by design, though. That same with Bill Cosby. Like when he was he did his so-called rape trial, and then his Jewish lawyers, and he thought they was agreement that it was going to be a confidentiality clause and it can never be opened up again. So he paid $1 million. He thought he got rid of that problem 15 years ago or however many years ago. No, they just set you up. Right. Even if you say I'm not guilty, they're gonna say no. Just plead guilty, and we'll make it go away, and we promise it's a confidentiality clause, and they'll never be able to bring it up again. They just lied to you. As soon as you agree with that, they just lied to you. Same with Michael Jackson and child molestation thing. Okay, I didn't rape no child, I didn't do nothing, I didn't molest no child. We know Michael, but they're gonna give you so much problem and this and that. Just say you did it and just settle out of court, pay them off, shut them up. Every time you do that, every time you follow their advice, you think they're on your side, you think they done helped you make millions of dollars and all of that, and they did, but they setting you up all the way. They setting you up from the jump. They patient. They not like desperate niggas and shit. They patient. Because they gonna let you build all your millions and hundreds of millions, and then they gonna take it from you in a court case. They're going to bleed you for lawyer fees, and then once you lose the case, they're going to take all your estate and divide it up amongst each other. That's how they do.
Bruh, and I got to say this to all the youth, man. Y'all is getting raw game from rap legend Westcoast Kam. I'm telling y'all, man, take this wisdom from this brother. Take this message and share it. You know what I mean? If you own this video, if you own this live and you watching, family, you know what I'm saying? Share this video, hit that like button. Also, if you got any questions, you can put them in the comments and I'll ask the brother, and if he would wish to address your question, you know what I'm saying? Don't be shy, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to ask, you know what I'm saying? I got the brother on, he's live, you know what I mean? And we in the building. So I got another question for you, dear brother, real quick. So what's the difference between rap beef back in the day compared to now? And what's the difference between rap beef back in the day compared to now?
Rap beef?
Yes, sir.
Like beef, lyric beef, or real life
beef compared to rap, you know what I'm saying? Because I think there is a distinction between two, but how do you know when it's just a rap thing and then when it's a real life situation? You know what I'm saying?
I don't really even think it matters because it's all monitored, it's all surveillance. You can't do nothing. Like, it ain't no real manhood stuff because the most you can do is go somewhere private and run a fade, because anything else is a crime, is a felony. You can't go shoot nobody because too many cell phones and cameras and tap phones and all of that. So you can't do nothing. So beefing now ain't nothing. That's why you can do a Tekashi 6ix9ine and all this troll shit, because everybody knows if you're a street dude, you can't do nothing. What you gonna do other than fight? You know what I'm saying? Okay, I do a little disturbing of the peace and a misdemeanor for fighting. Beef ain't really finna turn into nothing because it's cameras everywhere, it's microphones everywhere, it's cell phones everywhere. So I can go to your hood and say, you know, F the Bloods or suck my such and such blood. I'm in your hood, PUSSY. I'm in your, you know what I'm saying? you can do that because you know the cameras is on you at all times. So, and I got these big security guards, and I got the Israeli Mossad on my side, fully loaded. So, in the meantime, I'm just cashing checks and having the finest girls in this city and the finest girls in that city, and on the Billboard charts and all of that. So, I'm frustrating the hell out of real street niggas. Real street niggas really want to do me, but they're not gonna really do me because they gonna do life in prison, and they're not sure they're gonna get me. You know what I'm saying? It's just a gamble. It's a gamble that they playing because they know they fed bait. They know the feds is watching. That's why they make so much noise. Yeah, I'm gonna be over here. What's your location? Real ones is gonna run it in private. They're gonna be like, just meet me over here, bro. You know what I'm saying? They gonna have their G's. They ain't gonna say it. They gonna have their G's, talk to his G's, and they gonna line it up like that. But if the actual loudmouth motherfucker is right there saying that, that's all fed bait. That's all troll smoke and mirrors. That's all clown shit. That's all clown shit.
Right. Do you think XXXTENTACION, do you think that was like a hit, or do you think that was like, just like a random robbery? What's your thoughts on the XXX situation?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about that. But if black people did it, because apparently there's some young other black males did it. It's probably jealousy. There's some jealousy. Because unfortunately, everybody is on drugs. And just like in our day growing up, the number one murder drug was Sherm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Niggas smoke Sherm. So if you on certain drugs, you think it's a video game. I'm gonna go shoot XXX because I'm high and I'm thinking it's a video game, but it's not a video game. So everybody off these drugs. Drugs make you do all kind of different things. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it was hit. I just think it was some drug jealousy video, and niggas thought they was in a video game or something.
Yes, sir. Now, we could do a little segment, family. If y'all watching, if y'all viewing, y'all can ask some questions. We can take some time out for the viewers, the audience, to ask some questions. So I do have one question from City Life 74, and they ask you, Cam, do you have any new projects coming out?
Yeah, I got a new project coming out with my brother, young bruh. I got new projects coming out that I'm producing, actually. My sons, West Z, and Kamal Shah and Free Street. That group is called West Nation. I got something I'm doing with my brother Brad X out of Dago, Miles number 8. And we got a movie coming out. It's a reggae movie. It's a hip hop / reggae movie called Champions of the Mic. I got an EP I'm doing with my homie from Nigeria named Femi. We don't got a title for it yet, but it's gonna be fire. It's gonna be conscious. The whole thing gonna be like how that Black Star, that N-words, I hate N-words song that I did.
Right.
That's gonna be on there, but the whole EP gonna be like that. So that's with me and my partner. That's gonna be the beginning of the year. So about a month and a half, maybe 2 months at the longest. And that's with me and my homie named Femi from Nigeria. So yeah, I'm working.
Yes, sir. Now for all the viewers who don't know, y'all can go and check out that Fruit Pruno 2, that For the Nation, and that I Hate N-Words. Your brother, I featured up in both of them videos. You know what I'm saying? Appreciate the shout out at the end of the video, Cam. I just saw that last night.
Oh, man, that's old news. You just seen that?
Yeah, yes, sir. I saw the whole video, but I never saw the shout out at the end, though.
Yeah, you've been in the credits.
Yes, sir. Thank you for that, bro.
Producers of the video.
Huh?
I said you was one of the producers of the video.
Man, praise be to Allah, man. Yeah, hey, thank you for allowing me that opportunity because I ain't never did it before. So.
Yeah, gotta start somewhere. Return the favor. So when you all the way on, look out for my sons and my daughter.
I got them, bro. Hey, okay, I got another question for you. Now we have a lot of there are some individuals who they say, oh yeah, I'm not trying to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be no leader. I don't want nobody following me. But there's a lot of youth like Tekashi 6ix9ine who has a platform and has a lot of influence. So
Right.
what's the importance that they use their influence to guide people in the right direction? Because they don't want to be looked at as leaders, but they still are considered leaders. You know, the minister said one rap is greater than 1,000 sermons. You know what I mean? So why is it important that they use their influence to lead people in the right direction?
Well, that's two different agendas. The minister's agenda is divine. You know what I'm saying? So the definition of success for the minister is something different than the definition of these rappers or just an average, ignorant black person. Money is what we after. Like, the minister is not after money. He's after raising the consciousness level of his people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So he's saying a rap song can affect millions of people in that way, being successful in that way. But if you a young, little starving, hungry, little dusty, dude or female from the hood,
right,
you're not trying to raise the consciousness of your people. You need some money.
Right.
You hungry. You want to eat.
Right.
So it's about what's paying me, where the bag is coming from. So we're not concerned about being no role model. We're not concerned about being this or that. We want to be paid. We want to be rich. We want to get the bag. And getting the bag, of course, fame come with that and all of that. And to whom much is given, much is required. But like I said, with Tekashi dude and Shotty or whoever, that's not your foundation. You're not even coming out the gate saying he's saying it like we trying to help the hood, we trying to help Treyway, we trying to help Bloods, your little neighborhood. But you see, that wasn't the case, because everybody that you started out with is talking bad about you, talking about you ain't even really from the hood, and you really, Shotty was the one that just put you on. Like, it's all the truth coming out now, how people really felt. So it was all a money hustle. It's all a money hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's all. That's people's loyalty is to money.
Right.
The minister loyalty is to morality and his people and God, the God of trying to be right and righteous.
Right.
So now they all sitting. Look where the minister is sitting, and look where Tekashi and his clique is sitting. That's the only thing, because you can't force a youngster to do nothing. You can't force a grown up to do nothing. All you can say is, look where you at now, or look where Tekashi at now. That's the best thing you can tell other little youngsters. Well, shit, he got the ball out for a whole year though. I'd rather live 1 year as a multi-millionaire than my whole life never being a millionaire. Okay, I understand that logic, but you see where it's gonna end up at though, right? As long as you understand this where you can end up, being cool. In the meantime, I'm finna build this little camp over here that believe this. We believe that we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. It might take longer. You know what I'm saying? But if you feel like you need to have fame and money in order to get a pretty girl or whatever, you a lame anyway. Real niggas is getting pretty girls without no fame and no money, without being no rap star, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever you want, because really it comes down to girls. Well, I got this diamond, I got these out. You only doing that for girls. Dudes don't care. Like, you just trying to do that because girls are like you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're a real one, girls don't like you anyway, and then she gonna go mess with them Tekashi niggas with diamonds and this and all these, and she gonna come back and kick with the real one. Like, oh, for sure, that's the game. It's not like I'm no pimp or they no pimp. That's what the real dudes is say, man, yeah, go kick it with that dude. You know what I'm saying? And just have fun and be safe and shit. But when the smoke clear, you gonna bring me that nigga chain, or you gonna tell me where he at, and we gonna set him up and blah blah. That's how that game go.
Right. Yes, sir. So we got another question, dear brother, from another viewer in the audience. This question is from brother Clayton X Ware. Okay. He said, ask the brother, why was it such a big gap from the time he released Made in America and the album afterwards? Were Jews involved to stop you from releasing because you stood with the minister under the truth, and what made him fall away from hip hop in his prime years in hip hop?
Yeah, it was the Jews, and it was scared Negroes. It was Negroes that I thought was real, that I thought was with the minister, and I just leave that part like that. You know, you can draw your own conclusions. They don't be with the minister. Like, they be with the minister when it's convenient. You know what I'm saying? But you can't be a weekend warrior. You got to be I did a song called Active. You know, this ain't no weekend reserve. You can't be on a weekend reserve with this. You know what I'm saying? So when I see people that was on the weekend reserve and they wasn't active all the way, they wasn't really ready to do it during the weekday, you know what I'm saying? Then that scared me away. That scared me. That made me fall back because, you know, I was doing some things for people lives by live permission every day. You know, that wasn't under the music duties. You know what I'm saying? I was above and beyond the call of duty of the music business, and I was that kind of the brother. I'm still that kind of brother. So, but when it came to what I expected back, just out of the manhood code, I got it all with Cam. That's just the business. That's how the business. Oh, wait a minute. No, hold on. Time out. It's not. Can't be no. It's just the business.
Right.
When it wasn't just the business. What I just was doing for you to make sure you even was around to have a business. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah. You know, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. So I know I got the talent. You know, but once I split from certain people, it wasn't just the Jews. It wasn't just the fake Jews that was blocking. You know, it was some of the Jews' top magicians that was blocking also, because they were scared of what I might say. You know, but yeah, so that's what took me so long, just because the minister told me don't diss black people, you know, after the Whoop Whoop record, and I gave him my word, like, you know, or I diss that particular individual. So, and it's not diss, but it kind of diss. Like, you can tell the truth about something, truth gonna hurt. But I wanted to just focus on the real enemy, and it wasn't no lane, it wasn't nobody that was willing to put no money behind me talking about making raps against the owners of the record labels, the owners of the music industry and shit. So,
right,
you know, I had to wait until social media came around and then try to test the waters and see if people was wanting to hear it. So that's what took me so long.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The brother appreciate you answering this question as well. And so what's going on with the Napoleon debate? We want to hear about that too as well, dear brother. You know, the brother has been doing all these live streams dissing the Nation of Islam and dissing Master Fard Muhammad, dear brother. So what's up with that?
Yeah, somebody tagged me. I forgot who it was that tagged me a few days ago, earlier in the week or last week, with Napoleon from the Outlaws. And we got a good history. We've always been respectful and always had love for each other. And I wasn't really aware of certain things in his personal life that he'd been through, that he felt was at the hands of Nation of Islam members, I think, in Philly in the 80s. Like, he believed that the nation members murdered his parents. I think this was in the 80s. Yeah. So he had a different personal reason for having that kind of problem with the nation or the nation teachings. But so respect. I had to you know, talk to him respectfully. I mean, I still don't talk to him respectfully, but it's more sensitive. Had to be more sensitive because of that trauma and that experience that he felt was at the hands of the nation. Just like how people say, "Y'all Muslims killed Malcolm." Y'all Muslims, like, no, Muslims didn't kill Malcolm. It's just like, did your Muslim Brotherhood blow up the Twin Towers and kill 3,000 people? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because everybody said that was 19 Saudi Arabs that did it, and you over there with the Saudis right now. So did your people kill 3,000 people on 9/11? Oh no, that was that. Okay, well then don't say that the NOI killed your parents or whatever, because you know what our laws is. We don't carry guns. We don't do that. So if somebody did that, claiming that they was an FOI, they was an agent. They might have been a CIA, the same type of people that were FBI informants or agents, same people that killed Malcolm. So it's agents in the nation right now. It's agents in the mosque right now, more than they ever was. So
Right.
you can't just say the nation did that, because I can show you the nation's laws. I can show you the history and the clear laws, rules, and regulations of the Nation of Islam. I can show you. It don't involve none of that.
Right.
We didn't say pick up the weapons. Malcolm said pick up the weapons.
Right.
We didn't say pick up the weapons. Khaled said pick up the weapons. We didn't say pick up the weapons. You know.
Good
So
point.
anybody that's picking up the weapons is not a true NOI member.
Right. They going against what we teach.
Yeah, he going against Elijah Muhammad himself and Master Farad Muhammad. He came and told us to throw away our weapons. That's what y'all think we so stupid about. You think we fools. Oh man, y'all gonna die. Y'all gonna get wiped out.
Right.
Ain't got wiped out yet.
Right. Come on.
You know?
Right.
So
Great. Hey, good point, bro. Hey, way to break that down, man. Hey, City Life 74 has a question for you, dear brother. Since we on that
Yes,
topic,
sir.
what do you feel about the attack at our foundation? Master Farad Muhammad recently, in the conscious community. Is this to help deal with any weakness now before the departure of our beloved minister?
oh, definitely. You talking like Paul Guthrie and Dr. Wesley and all of that? Like,
Right.
yeah, I love it. I love it because it's gonna show the stars. It's gonna make the stars come out. You know, it's gonna get dark. But it's gonna bring the stars out, because it's a whole lot of weak foundation NOI Muslims out there. That's what really is the most depressing and frustrating
Right.
and disappointing to me personally.
Right.
Because if you a G, like if you from the hood and you done put in all kind of work and got your hood respected and feared, and you know what I'm saying, and then you got some little clowns misrepresenting the hood, doing punk stuff and sucker stuff, and they don't even know the code, they ain't even living up. You got to DP them, or you might have to put them off the set, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But in the nation, we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta let these. We gotta let it. So Allah presents other little bait, other little, like I say, shit. Excuse my language, shit to draw those weak little flies to it. You know what I'm saying? But I air them out too. I ain't perfect, but I air them out. I get DP every chance I get, and I'll do some DPing every chance I get.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. So, I mean, please explain to us, the importance in defending what we believe, because that's how I came into the ranks before I even got registered. Yeah. I was always defending the teachings even before I was even a registered member.
Yeah, it's a lot of lies. They always say Farad Muhammad was a white man. Okay, who told you he was a white man? Because the FBI didn't say he was a white man. You're getting that from Wallace D. or Wardeen Muhammad's old words,
right,
who is Elijah Muhammad's son, who was only 1 year old when Master Farad Muhammad left. You know what I'm saying? So you never seen him. Like you never remember seeing him. You can't say whether he was white or he was black.
Right.
And your father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, was taught by him and taught him wisdom and secrets of secret societies and all of the secrets that this world been keeping for the last 6,000 years that I have not been able to disprove. And he offered $10,000 for 40-something years for any one word that you can disprove that he taught. And his life, y'all never was able to get him to have to give up one dime for saying something wrong or give his life. So if that type of challenge was always out there, and that was showing you how serious he was about being confident that what he was teaching was the truth. And to this day, y'all haven't been able to disprove none of his teachings. And he said, based on that backdrop, he said that his teacher was mulatto. His teacher, Master Farad Muhammad, had a jet black father from Saudi Arabia, and his mother was a pure white woman from the Caucasus Mountains. That's what he was. He looked white because that's what the Bible said he was supposed to look white. He was supposed to come in sinful flesh to condemn sin in the flesh.
Right.
But y'all just want to stay on the surface. Ward Dean said he was white. We seen something on YouTube. He's on YouTube. How can you take anybody serious when that's their evidence, that's their proof? But if you got enough dumb niggas yelling at and cussing and challenging, they just like the fact that these niggas is so bold that they would challenge and they would talk so disrespectfully to about Elijah Muhammad and about the nation because they want to see something happen. They want to see a fight. They want to see a killing. They want to see some type of violent reaction or something like that. Right. That's just swine. That's just swine. We don't feed swine. We don't give pearls to swine.
Right. Yes, sir. And there are a lot of Orthodox Muslims, who make the claim, how can God be a man? And I noticed that in your debate with Brother Napoleon, you know what I mean? So, just to have you on the platform, what are your thoughts, kind of break down that science, Allah coming in the person of a man, and coming in the person of Master Fard Muhammad.
Yeah, that's just like the Christ, like the Jesus that the world is waiting for, or the Messiah that the Jews is waiting for, or the Mahdi that the Muslim world is waiting for. We all know that Master Fard Muhammad, or Fard Muhammad, he was just born in 1877. So obviously he's not the creator of the heavens and the earth, but he's a scientist. He attained the knowledge, the wisdom, and understanding of the originator of the heavens and the earth. He figured out by his permission and was taught, through study and through the gift of, the original man's natural power. He was able to attain that level of mastery of knowledge of creation. He has the knowledge about how the creation first took place in the first place, meaning how that first atom of life in triple darkness came to spark and took on activity and started rotating in the darkness. That's science. That's all God is a scientist. So it wasn't that Allah or God came in the person of a man. God has always been a man. God has always been a man or woman, the man and woman, the human being. That's the most high form and expression of intelligence. You can't even tell that intelligence exists if it's not expressed through a body. How can I have an attribute or a characteristic called love, be the loving, the kind, the protecting friend? Energy ain't loving and kind. Electricity ain't loving and kind and protect. Right. Electricity ain't the avenger or the humiliator. That has to be a human being that's doing that. So the human being is Khalifa or successor, one that stands in the place of the originator. The human being is God. There's no being superior than a human being. That's the supreme being. The supreme being, which people call God, is the human being. If you think I'm lying, show me a being that's superior to the human being. Show me a being that's a God over the human being. I'll wait.
Man, that's a great challenge right there, dear brother. So let me ask you, how long have you been in the Nation of Islam? And just as a personal testimony, how has it affected your life?
I've been registered because all black people is born in the nation. We just don't know it. But I've been constantly and knowingly registered in the Nation of Islam 28 years, 27 years, going on 28. This January 11th, 1991 is when I got my X. So January 11, 1991 would make, I believe, 28 years. So I was studying like 2 years before that. So altogether, I've been studying about 30 years. So if I was white, I could damn near be able to wear the holy flag. I'd be damn near be able to call myself a Muslim son.
Right. Yes, sir. So what? Somebody asked a question. What has Islam done for you? You know what I mean? Like, how has it affected your life?
Oh man, every trap that I haven't been able to avoid. Like, I'm from the East Side. I'm from LA. I'm from Compton and Watts. So you ain't never, you know I'm not a sucker. You know I'm not a punk. You ain't never heard me involved in no mess.
Right.
You know I talk super reckless and threatening to white people and to so-called Jews and to niggas that side with white people or whatever, like, or not just white people, but wicked white people. I don't have no problem with white people. I got a problem with devils. But I ain't been, by Allah's permission, by this teaching's permission, I ain't stepped in one trap. I ain't got caught up in one of their traps. Just like Elijah Muhammad told the minister, they're going to lay many traps for you, but you ain't going to get caught in one of them. And for 30 years, as I've been following, the best that I know how, following his steps of not stepping in no trap, I ain't stepped in no trap. You ain't got no dirt on me, got no smut on my name, got no sucker shit on mine other than me cussing. My worst track record is in the mosque because of my weaknesses or my dirt. But I'm talking about just in general, you know what I'm saying? That's what Islam, that's what these teachings have done for me. It made me a man, it made me a G. I was already, I wasn't no punk, but it made me what I was times 100.
Right.
Whatever you are, whatever good qualities you are as a black man or a black woman or a brown man, a brown woman, a red man, red woman, even as a white man, a white woman, you accept these teachings, it's going to amplify you to the positive 10-fold. So I'm healthy. I'm almost, inshallah, in a little while, I'll be 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? Other than some bags when I don't get no sleep or I'm stressing or whatever. I don't look like I'm 50. I look just as young as my sons or whatever. I look at these youngsters that's on these pills and having their way, or they Christians or even Orthodox Muslims, they looking kind of bad.
Right.
Like, they looking kind of bad.
Facts.
Proof is in the pudding.
Right.
Like, the first book I ever read from the nation, I was vain. It was How to Eat to Live, because I used to look at the Muslims like they weird as a motherfucker, but they look good. Like them dudes look good. Like, I like how they skin glowing like they pregnant or something. They like just look good. So it's just weird. Like, okay, are they really? Is it the devil? Are they possessed by the devil? Like, are they like wizards or warlocks or something? Because everybody talking bad about them, but they look too good. Everybody that's supposed to have the best way, the Jesus way, or this way, or the Orthodox way, they look terrible. Like they was looking terrible. Like, that's not attractive to me. So I got into the teachings by just reading it. Like, why y'all look like, man, brother, get this book called How to Eat to Live, and I read it because it said by Elijah Muhammad, but it said by God in person. So that alone was like God in person, because I grew up in church and Christianity. That was already kind of startling. First book I ever read in the nation. And that scared the dog shit out of me. That book scared, excuse my language, that scared the dog shit out of me. Not in a bad way, but it made so much sense. It scared this shit out of me. It scared the devil out of me.
Possibly be a god.
Yeah. Yeah. And everything my mama taught me and my grandparents, and they loved me so much, and they put their life on the line with Jesus, all of it was false. And I knew it was false. Like, I knew that, like, y'all was some hypocrite. This ain't really, but Elijah Muhammad laid it out in this little simple little language. It wasn't no scientific scholar, PhD language. He laid it out just like I'm laying it out. Just regular hood, regular simple kindergarten language, and was just making some points that was knocking me upside my head. I was like, oh, this is scaring. I had to put it down a lot of times. Like, oh, no, I didn't want to believe it. But I couldn't, I spent maybe 3 or 4 years, the first 2 or 3 years I was with the teaching, but I was really trying to disprove it.
Oh,
I really didn't like it.
You was on your Paul Guthrie? You was on your Paul Guthrie?
Yeah, I was on my Guthrie. It hurt me. It broke my little heart. It broke my little Christian fairy tale heart.
Oh, man. Hey, shout out to the viewers, man. Shout out to the audience, man. Hey, look, man, we got Westcoast Kam in the building, man. Hey, man, y'all don't even know, man. This is a fire interview. The brother's kicking some wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Again, share this video. If you got any questions, you know what I'm saying, don't be afraid to ask. Depending on how long the brother got, Okay. Quick question, dear brother. Real quick. What do you think
Yes,
about
sir.
the assault on black leadership?
The assault by who?
Of the black people?
By other black people?
Yes, sir.
I think that's just Stephens from Django Stevens or whatever them dudes
Right,
is,
Stephen.
where they getting Stevens or whatever, they getting little privileges or butter biscuits in the back door from they getting some little benefits. They getting benefits from the slave master, and they scared, or they might be hustlers like preachers or whatever. You know, you got people like not Creflo Dollar, but him too, T.D. Jakes, like people that don't want to unite with a Farrakhan, with the nation. Like, they know we've been slaves for 400 years. They know we getting killed every day. They know that we disproportionately being arrested and locked up. But you don't want to sit down, like, you using your influence, and you don't. So it's really those black leaders that's the main opponents that's fueling the opness, fueling the little smaller ops. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you making money off of a blind sheep flock that if it's exposed, what we talk about exposes secret relationships. So once we find,
Right.
we might say something that you guilty of, so you have to attack us. It's like you can't have peace. You can't have peace if people like us is telling the truth too much, and we telling it too strong and too loudly, and we got real street soldiers behind us. It's just a matter of time before we coming for you. So then that's why they be opponents so much, because they own guilt. They know that they guilty, and they know what they owe, and they know that the enemy is really the enemy, and the enemy is the one been paying them, like all these black organizations, like what's the dude's name, Al Sharpton.
Right.
He got his own TV show, and he promoting not Dershowitz. What's the other dude? The ADL dude that the minister called out.
Is it Abraham Foxman?
No, it's not Foxman. It's the other Greenblatt. Yeah. Right. So he give Greenblatt a free platform to say whatever you want to say. But, he won't sit with the minister. He don't even want to sit next to the minister at Aretha Franklin funeral, let alone promote a dialogue where they both can sit down. So it's them so-called black leaders that's the main ops.
Right, yes, sir. And you have that's a good point. That's a great point that you said that. And so you have a lot of these like you mentioned, some of the Zionists, the Jewish community attacking the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, people such as Alan Dershowitz. I watched a debate with Alan Dershowitz last night, and he was debating a dude named Norman Finkelstein on Democracy Now. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. Hey, the man is getting demolished. But what do you think of the minister's return back from Iran in response to the critics and challenging them to a showdown like Elijah in the Bible?
Yeah, I think it's the same way that people is responding or not responding to my challenge. On a small level, it's the same thing that I'm experiencing on the microscopic level when I'm challenging the Orthodox Muslims that's been talking bad about us. If you got so much to say on your own platform, sit down with me and say it, face to face, and let the people decide. Let have a big audience. You know what I'm saying? Because if what you're talking about is the truth, you shouldn't fear nothing. You can't wave the minister off like, oh no, we won't even dignify him with a response. He's nothing. No, he's more than something, because Iran and all of the continents, the top Muslim world, leaders all over the planet ain't playing him like that. So what make y'all think y'all can play him like that? He just called for 1 million black males in your nation's capital, and 2 million came, so you can't wave him off like, oh no, he ain't worth it, or he ain't no factor. That just shows that you a punk. It just shows that you really are the Satans and the guilty ones because you don't want to sit down with him and prove your case for everybody to see.
I think that's a good point there, brother, because like you said, that he has the ability to expose Satan, you know, and they don't want to dignify him as if he's not worthy, you know, he's a black guy. We, you know,
ain't already dignified.
Right, and he's anti-Semitic. Right, but you got people like Norman Finkelstein, who's a Jew, whose both parents were in the Holocaust, and you would dignify him, and you won't acknowledge him as being anti-Semitic, but he's saying the same exact things that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying about the Jews.
Yeah. So that just shows the cowardice. That just shows the snakery and the cowardice and the Satanry. So we don't gotta wait for them. We just want to put it out there every so often. Just like me, I'm not waiting for nobody to take me up on my offer. I'm still doing my work, what I do every day. But when I got a few minutes, I got an hour to kill, you know what I'm saying? Then I'm gonna go online and run that fade, after that fade, just to remind everybody how much punks they are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, not every day somebody could jump on a live with rap legend Westcoast Kam and have an actual debate, you know? Right.
Especially if you was already out there disagreeing with him. You already out there smutting our name. So now I'm a hell of a trophy. I'm a 28, 30-year vet in the nation, West Coast rap pioneer legend. You know, you know what kind of trophy I am that y'all can take back to y'all masjid or to y'all temple, or, you know, you should be sending all your imams at me to intellectually and spiritually take my head.
Right. Yes, sir.
But y'all ain't sending nothing. Y'all sending little cheerleaders and pom-poms with pom-poms and skirts that's scared to get on the live their damn self. You know what I'm saying?
So is the offer still out there? Is the challenge still out there?
Man, I'm trying to do a commercial. I'm trying to step it up. I'm trying to do a rap song, a commercial, a 30-second. I'm trying to call for it so tough because we'll just let it die out. But I want to keep it on people's radar. Or you hear anybody saying something against any nation, I mean, any so-called Muslim, they call themselves a real Muslim, saying something against the nation that they not real Muslims, hit me. Tag Kam. Hit Kam.
Right.
First challenge him, say, are you willing to go live with Kam? Because I it's other brothers and sisters that'll do it, but since I'm supposed to be so known for repping the nation for so long, like I'm a vet, I'm a G in this. So, and I'm a celebrity, you can get you some instant stripes, you can get you some instant hood fame, become a hood star, you know, because y'all definitely is trying to convert black people. Right. You know, y'all want this audience, so all you gotta do is take it from me. Just take me out, and everybody will instantly, everybody that got respect for me will then automatically have respect for you, and you will get what you're looking for.
Yeah, because it seemed like, you know, that not only they running from you, but you got people like Paul Guthrie, you know, he's making claims, but he's ducking and dodging Dr. Wesley Muhammad, and I got receipts proving it. You got other people like Young Pharaoh, Cyrus Seti, and these dudes making all type of claims. And I've even stepped out and refuted many of their claims and reached out to them, but they never got back to me on anything that they said. So what I mean?
Yeah, but on characters like that, that's other fed bait. That's some other fed bait. Because I think a couple of them dudes get fed time or something. That's fed bait.
Right.
You don't. First of all, if somebody, I just entertain it or whatever sometimes. But if somebody that's supposed to be a serious scholar or a serious teacher or whatever can't have a conversation without calling me a mother effer, or then, and you claim to be a street person or whatever, because when I'm debating or having these discussions or disagreements with Orthodox Muslims, don't no cuss word come out my mouth.
Right.
When I'm talking, you know what I'm saying, don't nothing. So, and I don't call you no names, I don't call you this, I don't call you that. I just get to the subject at hand, get to the facts. But if you saying that kind of language, then you trying to stir up emotion. That's fighting words. You don't want to talk. You want to fight. If you calling me a faggot or you calling such and such a pimp and a faggot and that motherfucker, that nigga, you know what I'm saying, a con man nigga, okay, well then you just want to fight. You know, I don't do that. That's some East Coast type shit or something like that. Like we on West Coast, we don't even do that much talk.
Right.
Like I had to learn how to even talk this much and debate.
Right.
We just gonna say, you know, we gonna shut up. That's how our homie really feel. Okay, we'll catch you. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I go on the West Coast. And if it wasn't for the nation, then it'd be a lot going on. But I'm under a discipline and law that I can't even do it like that. I just have to roll up on you and ask you, so what was you saying? And just watch niggas turn it all the way down. Watch it all the way down. Because they already think, well, y'all kill me out, you gonna kill me out. What you talking about?
Hey, and that's what they be doing too. They really be pushing that, bro. You know, they try to get us out of character and then turn around and say, oh yeah, young Pharaoh said it, y'all better be careful because they did this to Malcolm. It's like, really?
Right. We either did it or we didn't. Like, y'all good for beating up black people. Y'all won't touch the white man. That's fed bait too. That's just like Tekashi 6ix9ine. So when the last white man was killed? When the last white man? Who gonna say that, man? Who gonna say that?
Right.
I ain't touched no white man.
Right.
I ain't trying to touch nobody. You know what I'm saying?
On the yard, they call that making the scene. You know what I'm saying? You know you about to get beat up, but you want the CO to see you, so you start to get all loud so he can come break it up.
Or you think that we that stupid that you can attack my ego and make me feel like I ain't putting no work in against the real enemy. You're right. We haven't put no work in against the real enemy.
Right.
Okay, next. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because even if you have, why would I tell you I have?
Right.
Why would I tell you? Why would I implicate myself on some social media or and tell you I did anything to anybody?
Right.
Just because you claim that I didn't. Like, that's elementary school shit. Why would any real soldier or warrior ever do that?
Right.
I would just do it the way, like I'm saying, okay, I see you when I see you. Like, if I'm really a violent faker, if I'm faking, like I really practice violence when I'm saying I don't, that's how I'm gonna do it. I'm not saying this is what I do, or nobody else should do that. But you got cameras everywhere you go. Like, I would never touch a young Pharaoh or a SETI or whatever, because that nigga's hotter than firecrackers. They probably got cameras on them. They can't go nowhere without the feds with a camera. They know how much real people want to touch them niggas. I ain't touching no fed bait.
That's right.
That's like a nigga with female that's burning. She got, gonorrhea. I'm not touching no hot fed bait.
Right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, dear brother. And to all my viewers and audience, who was wondering about the whole Ice Cube situation, we skipped past that question. We ain't gonna ask brother that. He asked that about 1,000 times. Just, saying, just to cover that portion, you can go to other interviews that he's done that he's answered that already. And I promised, brother, that we was gonna get out of here probably about around an hour. So we had like about 1 hour and 20 minutes, dear brother. So is there anything that you would like to say to the viewers before we log off? Do you want, can you tell people where they can follow you on social media and find your music and stuff?
Yeah, social media is Westcoast Kam at everything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, anything else. Westcoast Kam, Twitter. Westcoast Kam, Kam with a K, K-A-M. And what I want to say, it just, if y'all know anybody that want to run that fade, any Orthodox Muslim that you heard talking bad about the Nation of Islam and what we believe, and we ain't real Muslims, tell them, bro, Kam over here, Westcoast Kam wants that fade on the live. You don't want to do no carpal tunnel typing. My people don't really read. We like in the condition that Prophet Muhammad and his people was when Jibril first met him. We illiterate. Ain't nobody trying to read. You know what I'm saying? We want that live fade. We want to see, just like we're doing right now, we want that live fade.
Right. And
so
I'll facilitate.
It's not going to be disrespectful. I'm just talking hood language so y'all know what I'm talking about. When I get on with them, I'll talk the language that they respect. I'll talk, I ain't got to talk no hood language. But I want y'all to know it's a fade I'm talking about. I'm talking about the fake. I'm talking about smoke. I'm talking about humiliating those that was trying to humiliate us, that was smutting our name, you know,
Right.
making them look just as stupid as they think they making us look by what we believe. Oh, y'all believe God is a man? Oh, y'all believe Jesus is 2,000 years old and he didn't have a daddy? Okay, let's lay it out. Let's say who really look crazy around here. Oh, y'all believe God is on the spaceship? No, we believe God is a human being. So first of all, our God is a human being. So human beings do need spaceships if they're gonna be in space. Which is like you travel every day on a big ass piece of metal that's hundreds of tons called an airplane.
Right.
So it's okay for the white man and shit to have a spaceship. That's all the airplane is, and you traveling in space, or a space station or a space shuttle. But the Muslims who claim that we got the top scientists that have revealed the highest science that this world has seen in the last 6,000 years, he can't have a spaceship though.
Right.
Well, okay. Everybody can have a spaceship. Aliens, all kind of motherfuckers. Everybody can have a spaceship except the black Muslim, the black man. All right. Well, let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's talk about it.
So, also, can you do me a favor? Can you, being a legend in the game, being around so long, can you give some last words to the youth, this generation that's coming up right now in hip hop music, or anybody who aspires to be an artist?
Yeah, my advice for the youth is look at Tekashi 6ix9ine. Look at Tekashi 6ix9ine. Look where he at right now. If that's your thing. And you can look at NBA YoungBoy, or you can look at, Kodak Black or whatever. Those that have did some jail time, they gonna tell you, like, unfortunately they're on drugs, but that's the worst place to be. That's the worst place to be. And if you live in that lifestyle, most likely, especially if it's that tough guy and shit, and you're trying to do the gangbang image, that's where you're going to wind up where he at, or you're going to wind up where XXX is at, unfortunately. Rest in peace to the brother. You got a real enemy out here. Your real enemy is those owners of these labels that's throwing this money at you. That is your real enemy. You don't think so right now because they throwing that bag at you. They only setting you up. They making you so they can break you. So if you're going to take the bag and split. You know what I'm saying? Run off on the plug. Run off on the plug. Get that bag and run off on the plug. You stay with the plug, they're going to take you down.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Look, man, I'm so grateful, man, for you joining me on this live video last minute, dear brother, and sacrificing some time to sit down and talk to your viewers, brother. And to the viewers, this is your brother Malcolm Flex. You know what I'm saying? And we just did an explosive video, live stream video with our rap legend Westcoast Kam, and we thank you all for tapping in, commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing, dear family. And we appreciate you all. And we're gonna end this live stream on a note. We greet you as we came with the greeting words of peace and paradise. Assalamu alaikum.